Welcome back, everybody, to more Knights of the Old Republic 1. I am Savage Hound Dusk. All my previous streams are moved over to YouTube. This one will be as well, right after I finish publishing it and recording this stream. Today, we're going to polish off what's left of the missions on Manaan. I may hop over to a couple of other planets just to check on some side quests. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but for now, we're just going to try and finish off Manaan and do Joe Lee's personal quest before most likely moving to the Starforge. So last time, after Bastila got captured, we decided we were going to head to, head out and go to Manaan in order to collect the final piece of the Starforge. And we had a very horrifying time performing what was essentially survival horror moments in a Star Wars setting, with crazed and insane Selkath running rampant after being driven into a murderous eating frenzy by psychopathic giant Faraxan sharks, and we had to appease the shark because I would rather appease the god of the oceans of this world than kill it and destroy its entire ecosystem. Because, you know, when you're playing a Star Wars game, nightmare fuel is what you need. Leaving Otto City Security Zone. Cameras deactivated. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Alright. Let's take Jolie, and I think I'm also going to take Juhani. I don't think I'm going to need anybody else who's particularly special for this. We're just going to go ahead and level up Juhani, largely so I can show you guys how to level up a Jedi Guardian. Jedi Guardians are Jedi who focus and primarily specialize in martial prowess over literally anything else. They do have a level of culpability with the Force, but of the three primary archetypes, Jedi Sentinels, Jedi Counselors, and Jedi Guardians, they have the least amount of Force training and Force powers, and will probably have the highest amount of physical aptitude and combat prowess because of their raw abilities in combat being so heavily evolved and emphasized. They have, in most cases, usually the highest resilience towards Force powers of most abilities. They're also, in many cases, some of the most powerful of the Order. Strong Jedi Guardians that you could emphasize from other media, particularly from the films, would probably include characters such as... I'll go ahead and get her a +2 modifier in strength. Would probably include characters such as Anakin Skywalker. I kind of want to say Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Obi-Wan always felt, despite his very Guardian behavior in the films, closer to a counselor to me in terms of his behavior. But that's more personality than anything, because Obi-Wan is extremely diplomatic. There's nothing wrong with that, but he's diplomatic to the point where it almost feels like that's about all he is. And he also tends to try and be very dogmatic to the council as well. Now, if you're looking for good Jedi Sentinels, those are very hard to find in the films and the TV show, or TV series, just because true Jedi Sentinels are very, very difficult to see. Around the time of the films, Jedi Sentinels didn't really exist anymore. So that's kind of why I don't really think Jedi Sentinels would be easy to find a proper example for. If I were to pick somebody who best represented a Jedi Sentinel from the films, or at least came as close to it as I could conceivably manage to find, then I would probably have to say either Luke Skywalker or God, who else did I have in mind for this? Because it was Luke and from the Old Order. In some ways, Mace Windu kind of can embody what I tend to see in a Jedi Sentinel. And Mace Windu I don't even think is a good example. There's another example in the form of the Jedi that Asajj Ventress falls in love with in the comic books. I think his name is Kunlun Voss, or something like that. He shows up. Okay.
Got something on your mind? What? You think because I'm a hermit, I've always been a hermit? Just because I haven't seen Sunry for 20 years doesn't mean he's not a friend. A man could have changed a lot in that span of time, though. To become a murderer, I can't see it. That's not the Sunry I know. He was a good man. Put me up in his home for a year back after I left the Order. War hero, too. So I hear. I wouldn't mind helping the fellow if we can. I owe it to him. Or you can be a young monkey lizard and ignore me, I guess. I don't expect much these days.
In terms of Jedi consulars, those are pretty easy to find. Yoda very readily represents a consular. He's just one of the quickest and easiest examples to use. Luminara somewhat represents a consular as well in a lot of ways. I don't really see too many Jedi from the films best represented that way, largely because the films don't use the Force very much in most cases. Okay.
Got yourself a fast little ship? I'd forgotten what engine sounded like. Closest thing to that on Kashyyyk is an Uller invading season. Ugh, frightful. Or it could be for the free food. What's the gunk that comes out of the synthesizer on this bucket anyway? Do you never clean the darn thing? How impatient can one person be? You must have driven your mother mad. All that gurgling and fussing. Babies are cute, but annoying. You know, you remind me of someone else I knew ages ago. Pleasant enough fellow, great destiny. All of that. Breath like a bantha. So I am. Tell you what, when you get to be my age, you can go ahead and answer any question you like to. You have my permission. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Andor Fix was his name. The Force swirled around him like a hurricane. That's how great his destiny was. I did. Just because someone has the Force swirling about them doesn't always mean they have a great destiny. But it doesn't hurt to check it out. Well, it turned out that poor Andor believed a wee bit too much in the infallibility of that destiny. That overconfidence turned out to be his downfall. I don't know. Are you overconfident? I hadn't noticed. Even if I had, I would never comment on it. We're talking about Andor, remember? Let's see. Oh yes, Andor's downfall. I was pretty young myself when it happened. At the time, I thought that Andor's destiny couldn't be more boring. Well, let's just say that I was a strapping young lad with a full head of hair, and Coruscant was a small town with a well. I was just about to abandon Andor to whatever the Force intended for him when his ship was overtaken by a Dimian warship. Now, you've probably never heard of the Dimians, but at the time, they were a nasty lot led by a nastier overlord named Krat. Tall fella, big teeth. Krat has us all up to the bridge of his ship for questioning, and that's when I knew that Andor's destiny was at hand.
I love the way this guy talks now. It's incredibly entertaining.
Of course he did. Haven't you been listening? It was not in the way you probably expect, though. Well, Andor decides that his destiny makes him invulnerable and starts making all sorts of demands. Free me now. I'm not answering questions. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know who I am? Krat decides he's had enough and begins crushing Andor's neck. I told the boy he should have kept his mouth shut. I think he agreed, too. This could have just been gurgling noises. Finally, Krat has enough of and tosses him aside into this giant energy intake shaft. Andor gets sucked in and starts bouncing around, screaming. Maybe Andor hit something sensitive on the way down, or just didn't agree with the reactor core. Next thing I know, all the ship's alarms are ringing.
He's making this shit up.
Everyone panics, and I run, barely making it to the ship in time before the explosion. Krat dies horribly, and the Dimians never quite recover. Changed the political course of the entire sector for centuries to come. I'd call that quite a destiny, wouldn't you?
I hate you, old man! I love the fucking dialogue choices! This is so beautiful!
Are you kidding? What are the odds of that happening anyway? 1,000,000,000 to 1?
A bullshit show in a hen house?
Of some evil Sith Lord, you know. Andor was a hero. Sort of. But anyway, go on. My throat is dry and you're making me cranky. Shoot.
You're the asshole avoiding my fucking question. I gotta admit, though, that's the best entertainment I've ever had for somebody dodging a question. That was incredible. What? God damn it, Juhani! There's so much to love about this game.
Jolie, it is you. I need your help.
What was that? I just took a dose of speed. You're speaking way too slow.
I'd left caching.
I didn't. Nobody knew where you were, not even Sunry. But I heard the Selkath mention you and your friends. The Force has brought you to help us.
Why? Whatever could be the matter, my dear?
It's horrible, Jolie. Sunry has been arrested. The Sith have accused him of murder.
Murder? But how?
It's all a mistake, Jolie. Sunry isn't a murderer. Someone is trying to frame him.
Calm down, Elora. Where's Sunry now?
Sunry's being held at the Selkath courts. They won't let anyone in to see him. Please, go to the courts. Talk to the judges. Maybe the Selkath will listen to you.
Don't worry, Elora. We'll get to the bottom of this and help Sunry. Somehow.
Don't make promises you can't keep, bats.
Got something.
No. What the fuck was happening to Jolie there? He was phasing in and out of existence. That was weird. I also need to stop off at the Merc Clave.
Perhaps? An odd thing for the Republic to do, no?
Thank you. I'm probably not going to need those credits, but may as well wrap that quest up. Excuse me. Apologies. Oh, nope. That's the door I need.
I suppose your Sunray's only hope. We have to at least try to help him. Yes, but it almost seems too heavily stacked, doesn't it? Very suspicious.
I feel compelled to add good luck as my final mission. Sunray was a great warrior in his time. He fought for the Republic against Sith aggression and proved valorous. I have great respect for his accomplishments and find it tragic that he finds himself in this current condition. If the Republic had more individuals like him right now, I do not believe the Sith would be so great a problem for your people. Is there any other way I can assist you? Is there anything suspicious about this case that you know of? I find it questionable that a man with such a reputable past as Sunry would murder a Sith woman, especially not from behind. But knowing the Sith, there was probably some deception involved. They seek to do the same thing to us here. There has been much pressure by the Sith on our government, and even on the judges themselves, to deliver a guilty verdict in this case. But the letter of the law is absolute, and we will not be compromised for Sith power games. Is there anything else you need? Okay. He clearly respects the Republic. A lot of the Manaan Selkath seem to respect the Republic immensely. Probably because we treat them a lot less aggressively than the Sith do. I suppose I must spend some time talking to you since you are here in an official capacity. What do you need? What do you think of Sunry? Sunry was a Republic soldier, a hero even. Do you think his Republic masters would let someone so valuable go so easily? I think not. I think Sunry maintains his contacts with the Republic and seeks to escalate the situation here. Is there something else you require? Well, what's suspicious about all this to you? I find this case to be fairly straightforward. Sunry is from the Republic, Ilasa from the Sith. The great empires battling now live out their conflict through their minions too. Is that all? I do not buy into the Republic line that this is some epic battle of good Republic against the evil Sith Empire. The Sith Empire is merely an expansionistic power, much like the Republic was early in its history. It is simply the turning of history, where the old is swept away by the better new. Is there anything intelligent you wish to know? You're a dick. Also, you don't know the Sith very well. What do you think of Sunry? Sunry is a former Republic officer who is highly regarded by your people. He's admired by your people here on Manaan, and even seems to maintain some sort of relations with them still. If he is as capable as some of the Republic's citizens still believe him to be, he is certainly capable of actions that would result in this murder. Is there anything else you wish to ask in relation to the case? What sounds suspicious about this case to you? Well, I've often wondered, if Sunry were so innocent, why was he seen fleeing the scene? Why would he have even been running if he had not committed the crime himself, or was at least aware of what had occurred? This case seems fairly simple, and obvious to me. You Republic types stick together, however, and I assume you will go to lengths to defend him. What else do you want to ask? Both empires are at fault for this current conflict. The Republic in the past for laying the foundations upon which the Sith Empire grew, and the Sith now, obviously, for starting the war. But no matter the wrongs that have been done in the past, the Sith now have no cause for renewing hostilities. It almost seems as if they just want to conquer everything. I believe the Republic has every right to defend itself and drive the Sith back from where they came from. Unfortunately for them, and perhaps for us, they do not seem to be doing too good of a job at it. Okay. I find the idea that some half-human cripple could murder someone as obviously competent as Sith Ilasa to be questionable at best. A man who can barely walk killed a Sith warrior in her prime? Preposterous. But I wouldn't put it past the Republic to try and arrange such circumstances to see her dead. The Sith are much more straightforward about their intentions. Is that all? You haven't met many Sith, have you? They often are straightforward about their intentions, but how they reach them is not. Particularly amongst the best Sith. Darth Bane, Palpatine, and even Darth Vader were very skilled manipulators. Is there anything suspicious about this case to you? I find it presumptuous to assume that the cripple Sunry could kill Ilasa. I think that there must have been another there who killed her, perhaps one of the witnesses. I do not know the reason for the medal clutched in her hand either, but it may have been that she fought them off even as she died. I think this may be the work of some Republic conspiracy, and I am not afraid to say so. If the only means I have of hurting the Republic is through Sunry, then so be it. Is that all? I think the Republic is an institution in sore need of change, and has gone on too long, and the Sith are a fresh wind of change blowing across the galaxy. I do not believe in the false stories of the evils of the Sith Empire. They are nothing compared to the oppression and stagnation that the Republic represents at its core. If I was given the power to decide, Manaan would join the Sith, forcing the Republic to accept the new face of the future. But sadly, it would appear that I am wiser and more farsighted than my immediate superiors, as I am relegated to civil judicial matters. I will judge this case, and I will find Sunry as guilty as he is charged to be.
So nice to meet an impartial judge for a change.
Impartiality is one thing, blindness is another entirely.
You said it, not I.
Are you finished? Okay, so, talking to the judges, that one seems to be completely under Sith propaganda, and is a pro-Sith idiot without realizing just how murderous the Sith are and how much they would enslave his people if they took over. This one seems to be relatively neutral. This one seems relatively neutral. You're pro-Republic, and you're pro-Sith. Okay? But the neutral ones definitely respect the Republic representatives way more. And now I'm going to start questioning the two idiots in the room for the Republic and the Sith diplomats. We will start with the one that I am certain to hate more, just as soon as I can get Juhani's ass out of the way. I don't believe all of the false Sith evils. You really gotta know what you're talking
One day
about.
soon, the Selkath will pay for the indignities they have inflicted on the Sith.
Okay, that wasn't
The
productive.
Republic respects the peace of Otto City, Your Honor. But the Sith are a violent people who leave violence in their wake. I have 3 soldiers in the infirmary.
If the Republic soldiers were more capable, they would not have suffered such serious injuries. Are my soldiers to be punished simply because they won a fair fight?
I hardly call 6 against 3 a fair fight. The Sith are cowards who attack only when they have the advantage of numbers. They were provoked, Your Honor. The Sith goaded them into this fight.
He just fined both sides 10,000 credits because the Sith started the fight to begin with, and the Republic eagerly went into it. Alright, I need to question the fucking witness. Or not the witness. I need to question the suspect. So let's question the suspect. I'm not going to begin the trial. I'm going to question Sunri.
Jolie, what are you doing here? The Lord sent me, Sunri.
I farted. That's what he's doing
out
here.
of this mess. The courts went and made us arbiters for your case.
Just like old times, eh, Jolie? You come swooping in out of nowhere to save my tail from the fire?
You saved my wrinkle butt more than a few times as well, friend, if I recall. But there'll be time for catching up later. Right now, we need to focus on the case.
The case is a complete frame-up. Anyone looking at the evidence could see that. So I thought. But the Selkath seem to think that there's enough to go to trial. There aren't any witnesses. All that evidence against me is circumstantial and completely flawed.
Let's go over the evidence.
I was at the hotel, I admit. And I did meet Eliza there that night, but it's not what you think.
I was working with Republic intelligence. We were pretending to feed information to the Sith. When I turned Eliza into a double agent working for us.
It was going well, too, until she turned up dead. Maybe the Sith had found out I was turning her and had her eliminated. But let's look at the facts they've given. Eliza was brutally killed. Think about that. She was a Sith, trained in battle, and I'm just a crippled old man. My war injuries make it difficult for me to walk, even to hold things. See how my hands are shaking? How could I kill a Sith warrior at close quarters? I ask you. Further, they say they found my hero's cross at the crime scene. Would I leave my war medal behind if I killed someone? Even I'm not that stupid. Obviously, the Sith planted the cross. And what about the lack of forensic evidence? Skin and hair samples, clothing fibers. Why isn't there anything like that at the crime scene? Sounds like an obvious frame-up to me. I hope you can see how the Sith are manipulating the Selkath, and probably even you to set up this against me. We need to get this over with quickly and clear my name. Anything else I can help you with? I want my... Guess you could interview witnesses at the hotel where the murder happened. Selkath already did that, but the fish folk don't have much rapport with offloaders. Maybe one of them was holding something back. But I think you'd be better off investigating the Sith themselves. Maybe you could find some proof they planted evidence to frame me. Though that might mean figuring out a way into the Sith embassy. Anything else I can help you with? Go ahead, How would they know? They weren't there. I heard some of the witnesses said that too, but I swear she was alive when I left. I wonder if the Sith have been putting pressure on people to get them to convict me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They've had it in for me since the war. You should ask everyone about that. They might admit...
This guy seems extremely paranoid. And that means that it is entirely possible that he could have killed her. That's definitely not what I was hoping to end up having to see here. Alright, let's get going. Don't mind me, I'm just turning on my lightsaber. Randomly. Because I can. Here we go. Derp. In terms of Sith warriors, just like the Jedi, there are 3 predominant factions of Sith. Well, I wouldn't say factions quite so much as subsets of Sith warriors. There are the Sith Marauder, which I feel is best exemplified in the films and TV shows by Darth Maul. Marauders are essentially the equivalent of a Jedi Guardian. They are very, very aggressive, savage, violent, and they predominantly emphasize and focus on martial prowess and lightsaber combat. Jolie, Jolie, get your old ass out of the way.
You with the Selkath? You here to see me about the murder too? I told the damn fish everything I knew. What more do you all want from me?
What do you know about Sundry and
Sundry,
Alonso?
I only heard of once or twice in passing.
Sundry.
Some sort of old-time war hero against the Sith. Seen him around in the hotel too. Going to Alassa's room always, of course. Kept the rest of the building up half the night with their damn antics usually. I'm not saying anything like that. What they did in that room in private is their business. And there isn't any rule against Sith and Republic seeing each other for personal reasons. Although if you think her Sith master didn't know, you must be fooling yourself. Well, Alassa was a Sith, so of course she'd have to have someone above her. Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Oh, you're definitely lying.
Since you put it that way. Well, one time, I saw Alassa coming in wearing this big cloak. I was on my way to my room, and she normally wears stuff like that, so I didn't pay her too much attention. But this time, I accidentally brushed up against her. Accidentally, of course. And her cloak fell open. Now, I don't have any qualms about the Sith. I leave them alone, and they leave me alone. And seeing as how Alassa had a Sith lightsaber under her cloak, I'm not going to poke that hornet's nest. Seems so. But I'm not getting myself in any further with the Sith. I know how ruthless they are. Now that's all I'm going to tell you. I'll testify it to the court, but you aren't going to get anything else out of me.
That's fine. I got plenty of credits, so the 100 credit loss doesn't bother me. Oh. I can also loot his footlocker for the same amount of credits that he just got paid. Well, there we go. I broke even. Pretty sure I shouldn't have done that.
serkap Shona mulira tong report Glupor tong hit wanaji serkap agi inko tune glupor mulira Shona mulira tong glupor kipa nong glupor yon tung kiwi ita Pola un jikne mulira glupor kon mulis limo pui wanga kun biskin glupor tumpanik chalora kun Glupor chi ita kanki channa kilikon Glupor nibo jimata wipun nage tong abang sun cham u glupor ninong Glupor yon tung kiwi ita Pola un jikne glupor inpanik Glupor pichage borang turang Kun muliras nimo poitong abang sinchan glupor ninong kili glupor chiwak at aita kan kicha glupor sha glupor pampa ki mulira kun king glup tong itzertat mama jiko
It was a human.
glupor ag ikotune glupor no mulira shuna mulira tong pa no kun glupor chachopa glupor bagwa shong konti machit
Well, that testimony would prove he didn't do it. As paranoid as Sunri absolutely was, yeah, Okay, so now I need to question Elora.
You, Jedi, I hear you are investigating the Sunray murder trial, are you not? This case is not at all what it appears to be. Many currents, might I say, flow beneath the surface. This murder is much more complicated than it may first appear. The Sunray and Elassa are proxies for their governments, and both sides want the other to fail. You can see the journey by the footprints. You understand, yes? I'm saying they both had something to do with it. They've both kept their hands in this from the start. If you want to get to the bottom of this murder, you might seek information from both the Sith and the Republic, likely in their embassies. No, of course not. You think state secrets of would have to be... Heed my advice, Jedi, and you may yet find the truths in this murder.
Okay. Let's do something stupid. Come along, Juhani.
Warning.
Holy shit, that's loud. Oh my god. Sorry, that was loud as hell. Ow.
What is it?
I forgot he could do that.
Let's see what you got.
That's right, you gotta talk to that Selkath in order to expose what they're doing with the youth. Actually, I just want to kill my old apprentice for betraying me. Yep, they're taking the kids and they're indoctrinating them with Sith propaganda. Tell Shasa the Sith. Yup, they murdered him. He was holding some sort of token. So they murdered them and they left their dead bodies in the medical room. Anybody who wants to tell me the Sith are not evil and should be sympathized with, I think you should consider what just happened here. Because this is very typical behavior of the Sith. Okay, hold on. Bring the kids to the medical room where the Sith, where the corpses are. You'll be fine. Yeah, sure. Let's just murder another cell calf like an idiot.
How did you get in here? Wait, I recognize you. Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Taris alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Well, let me guess. You intend to collect this reward, right? See? What did I tell you?
As you wish, my eager apprentices.
Your wish?
Never too old for this.
Idiot. Dark Jedi Master Robe. Datapad. I gotta go so far down. I really do have too much crap. So I'm really pissed off that I can't just take these kids to the medical room where those fucking Sith died. Or where those Sith apprentices died. Because it's right here. There we go. We've solved the missing case.
Just be careful.
This is kind of the bullshit, by the way, that I'm talking about with these Dark Jedi. You notice when their health gets low, they just kind of spam the shit out of Force Drain, and that's really about it. And they don't ever run out of Force points, so they can just infinitely do that. Which means if you can't hit them hard enough to kill them and outpace their regeneration, you can't kill them. Yeah, that's why a lot of Sith bosses in this game are just bad. But if you ever wondered how devastating 3 Jedi would be to a base, sure, I didn't have to fight my way through the first half. I fought my way through the first half of this base without any Force powers, though, on 2 of my squad mates. The first time I came in here. The second time I come in here, it's with 3 Jedi instead of 1, and I tore this place apart. Like it was nothing. That's kind of bad. I do like how this game is taking a lot of cues from Deus Ex, though. There's always a backup for the backup. In most cases. Obviously, you can still permanently fuck things up, but that's harder to do than you might think it is. For instance, the Republic forces, when you had to infiltrate this Sith base, the Republic forces had 3 ways in. You could interrogate somebody if you had good persuasion skills, which I didn't. I just knew what to say with minimal persuasion. You could go and solve a series of math puzzles and unlock the door that way, which allows you access in. Or you could go over land and get in and do it that way. There are 3 ways for you to be able to get in and out. There we go. I wanted to shut that force field down, because if you shut it down, you don't have to go through the water pressure system hallway again. You can just use force speed and go around it. And I say, why risk my hide when I can just take a sure way out? Oh look! I did not get accosted by their frickin' local law enforcement. Okay. Oh boy.
I hear you've been appointed as arbiter in Sunry's trial. What?
Now, Elora. We're not here to pass judgment, my dear. We do need to know everything if we're here to help, yes?
Yes. Yes, he was having an affair. He was seeing that Sith woman. After all these years we've been together, he just dropped me like that. Not publicly, oh no. But inside, that's what it feels like. I started seeing Alasa last year. I had my suspicions for a while, but he was careless. Pretty soon everyone knew. But even though I'm sure that harlot was only using him, I know he couldn't have killed her. He came and confessed to the affair to me. He said he was going there to break it off, to end it. Maybe the Sith woman attacked him, and he had to defend himself. But even though he cheated on me, inside he's still the man I loved. That was a long time ago, in a war far, far away. This is all a plot to destroy.
It's possible. I haven't seen Sunry since I crashed on Kashyyyk. A man can change a lot in that time. The man I knew could never have done this.
Find the real evidence. That's all I ask.
Joey!
Soon, old friend. We don't want to go to trial until we've got the whole picture.
Oh, I grow weary of staring. Well, it was good, but alas, my war fat of it. Any. Go ahead. I don't know what this must look like. Yes, we were having an affair. I know it was wrong, but I'm a weak man. Alasa was beautiful and young. How was I to resist her charms? But I didn't kill her. I loved her. Please. I know I made a terrible mistake getting involved with her. I did it, but found out later that she was dead. I don't deserve to go to jail just for having an affair. So the truth is out. I never meant to kill her, you know. When I found out she was a Sith spy using me to gain information, that something inside me just snapped. didn't know I had found out. So I waited until she fell asleep. And then I killed her. Simple, really. But once I realized what I'd done, I panicked. I contacted those spies from the Republic to help me. They found the illegal monitoring device that the Sith had planted in the room, altered its recording to hide my part in it, and cleared up the evidence. I figured that was the end of it. The Sith must have been spying on me and Alasa, trying to make sure she wasn't a double agent. They must have seen the Republic spies getting rid of all the evidence, so they planted their own evidence. Alasa must have stolen that hero's cross from me long ago and given it to her Sith masters like some kind of trophy. I just thought I'd misplaced it. But when the cross turned up on her body, I knew the Sith had put it. You think I'm some kind of monster, don't you? All I did was kill a Sith. How many Sith have you killed? Dozens? Hundreds? Thousands?
That's different, Sunry, and you know it. We don't kill them in cold blood while they sleep.
I don't see how the two of us are any different. She was a spy. She was using me to get information so Malak's army could destroy the Republic. She deserved his eye.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You didn't kill her because she was a spy. You killed her because she betrayed your love, and you murdered her in her sleep. You didn't fight her in a battle. You didn't duel her. There was no honor in this. There was just a jilted lover's rage. I'm sorry, but that's not the same thing as fighting a war.
If I confess, I'm looking at 20 years in prison. And the Otto City officials might even place Kolto sanctions on the Republic Embassy. Without Kolto, how can we No, I can't do that. And put the Republic's supply of Kolto in danger. No, I won't. Look, I may have done something stupid, and it may only be worse for my standing by it, but I will not confess. If you turn me in, the Republic will likely lose its Kolto export privileges, and then we'll lose the war for sure. Are you going to send all those thousands, millions like Taurus to their deaths just for your sense of justice?
Sunry, this is wrong, and you know it. I am a Jedi. What is it that you expect me to do to defend your actions?
You do whatever you have to, Jolie. I know what I did, but I also know what's at stake here. No, I'll rot in here if I have to. I won't betray the Republic. Do what you have to, but know what the consequences will be.
Okay, you'll rot in here if you have to, but you won't betray the Republic. Well, it would be a betrayal of the Republic for you to not expose the truth of why you did this. You killed her because you found out she was using you. You killed her because you were having an extramarital affair, and she betrayed that trust. That is murder, but it has nothing to do with the war at large, except she was trying to take advantage of you for it. That kind of makes you an asshole. Alright, I'm going to save right before I do this, just so I can see a couple of the potential outcomes and what I kind of want to happen. Are you deaf, Flipperhead? Let's get this child. I love that. I love this so much. Oh, God.
It is an honor to see justice served, and I will see Sunry is executed for the crime he has committed.
The man I saw leaving, Sunry, probably left after I heard the blaster shot.
The guilt of the accused is apparent even this early in the trial. You are feareth me, the well-known Pazat player. I wonder if we can trust the word of a gambler as reliable testimony.
Oh! Oh! Sorry, I had a muscle in my back that just popped back into place. Oh.
What did you see the
Wow.
night of the murder?
Well, I came out into the hallway after hearing the blaster shot and saw Sunry over there limping down the hall out of the building.
A very obvious point, Your Honors. The accused was seen leaving the scene of the crime after the blaster that killed Elasa was fired.
You mean actually see him kill her with my own eyes? Well, no, but I don't think there could have been anyone else there. I think it may have been. I mean, you'd have to be pretty stupid to leave something that important lying around, wouldn't you? Well, he was moving pretty fast running away, but yeah, I mean, how could he kill a Sith warrior in combat? I don't know for sure. Yes, from what I could tell, she carried a lightsaber under that cloak of hers.
Objection! That doesn't prove she was a Jedi.
Here we go.
Glupor the Rhodian, you were staying in the hotel the night of the murder and saw Sunry leaving Elasa's room, didn't you?
Lupor jiking mata Sunry mulira. Kingun jupa shak lupor. No ba mulira se tilai kuka.
This is clear, then, that Sunry left the room with the Sith Elasa already dead behind him.
That doesn't prove shit.
Lupor tang hima majik lupor aki iko tung sit. Lupor no mulira chuni mulira tang Sunry. Kimba no kunik dor chubaka chupak lupor. Shaw. Lupor, Lupor.
Don't do it, Glupor.
You will shut your mouth.
Lupor kan kintablik nibora.
Lies! Slander! I object!
Lup.
Oh joy, here comes his wife.
Our Sunry's lawful wife. Your husband was a hero in the last war between the Sith Empire and the Republic. He was crippled in that war. Do you not believe he'd blame the Sith for his injury?
Yes. I guess he would.
And there you have motive. Sunry seeks revenge on the Sith for what they did to him and killed Elasa.
That... Okay. Alright, that is entirely conjecture. That is circumstantial evidence at best, which doesn't prove shit, and it's conjecture at worst, which means it has absolutely no basis in reality. It's just what he wants you to think is actually going on.
Yes. Yes, it was true. He was having an affair with that Sith harlot.
It seems painfully obvious that he killed her to keep her quiet about the affair.
He'd been seeing her for some time, I think. But he said he was going to change. He'd gone there that night to end it. We talked the night before and he'd promised. But now things have become so very complicated.
Saying that he's a Republic war hero wouldn't really mean anything. This isn't really going to mean anything. All it takes is a blaster and the element of surprise, and even he could kill a Dark Jedi.
I wish to call forth Sunry himself, Your Honors. Are you a war hero, Mr. Sunry? You fought in wars against the Sith Empire, correct?
Yes, that's right. And I don't regret it either. The Republic needs its heroes.
Indeed. Would you say that you dislike the Sith? Even hate them?
Of course I hate them. Trying to take over the galaxy every chance they get, killing millions of innocents?
Pure politics. Were you in Elasa's room on the night?
Pure politics!
Yes, I was. I had been having an affair with Elasa and my wife, yes. But I realized how wrong I'd been, and I was going there to end it.
You were having an affair with a Sith. You wanted to end it quickly and quietly, so you killed her from behind and tried to flee.
No,
I think we can see the answer clear enough, Mr. Sunry.
Do not interrupt the accused. Said quite enough already, prosecutor.
I don't know. The medal had gone missing some time ago. I never found out what happened to it. It's possible the Sith had stolen it and had it planted on the body.
Which they did.
Your Honor.
That's not supposition. That's not supposition. We actually proved that earlier. We got a confession on that one. You're a liar.
Yes, I think they would. They wouldn't want to lose one of their sources, even though I didn't give them anything. They might have killed her for her failure. Or they might have thought she'd turn against them or something like that.
The Sith Empire is not the barbaric institution you portray it to be.
That is exactly what you are.
Of course she was. Why would a young, beautiful Sith woman get with an old cripple like me?
I think the facts in this case are very straightforward. Sunri was having an affair with Elasa. He sought to end it, and the simplest, quickest method, given his hatred of the Sith, was to simply kill her. Witnesses saw Sunri fleeing the scene, and material evidence places him there at the time of the murder as well. I am confident that any informed observation of the facts will lead the judges, Your Honors, to this very conclusion. Oh, that doesn't mean a thing.
That also doesn't mean again. If you speak out of turn again, you'll be forcibly ejected from the court.
The Sith would not leave the medal of her killer clutched in her hand.
Oh, look! I managed an innocent conviction. I didn't lie at any point either. I just didn't bring up a specific point.
Oh, Sunri, I'm so glad.
Elora,
We have done all we could for you, old friend.
thank you for saving me. I don't know how I can repay you. I and the Republic will not forget what you've done for us. Thank you.
Okay, so if I have one complaint so far with this game, it's that there are certain little details that should trigger certain alterations to conversations. They don't trigger those alterations to the conversations. Like, we proved that Grupor, by his own admission, planted what the... he planted that evidence, that metal, which... The conversation, you will notice, a few minutes later, actually,
This.
And it's good to know that Juhani liked that. We have completed our other side quest here on Manaan, so now we can actually leave with everything wrapped up. I didn't think I would end up getting it all in such a neat little bow that easily. It took the majority of the stream, but we did clear up the murder and the remaining side quests to deal with on this planet. I guess we can start to head for the Starforge now. I don't really see a reason not to. But, It should have triggered an alteration to the conversation down the line, and it didn't trigger any change. In fact, it was almost as if proving that the Rhodian was the one to plant the metal didn't change anything when you think about it. Because for some reason, proving that the Rhodian did it by asking him and having him admit it didn't actually make them realize they needed to change that. So I'm wondering if there's a trigger that doesn't work correctly in the dialogue options, or if the developers might have just run out of time and that's why you didn't really get the chance. I don't really know either way. Security system deactivated. Alright, let's work on upgrading my lightsaber. Do I have any... No, I still don't have any interesting crystals. That's a bad stun. That's useful against droids. General? Ooh! Advanced blaster bolt deflection. That would be really nice. That grants a massive criticals bonus and a base energy damage bonus. Attack bonus +3. Damage bonus versus dark side. Bludgeoning damage of physical +3. I think we'll keep the Solari crystal attached to that lightsaber. I have 3, count them, 3 short lightsabers. I don't have a scope available for that? Alright. I'm gonna remove these from this lightsaber. I have a shitload of lightsabers. I really do. Alright, let's save it now that we've dealt with all that. It won't let us go back to Dantooine. I guess they didn't lie about attacking that enclave.
You are strong, child. But I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side. You think torture will turn me, Malak? You're a fool.
Torture? No, dear Bastila. You misunderstand. This is but a taste of the dark side to whet your appetite. When you finally swear loyalty to me, it will be willingly.
Never.
Such resolve in your words, but I see the truth in your heart. The dark side calls to you, Bastila. You hunger to taste it. Become my apprentice, and all its power can be yours.
What? Hey! Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that happened. It doesn't look like we missed anything. My hand wasn't even anywhere near my keyboard, so I don't know what happened. Yeah, that doesn't look ominous at all.
The Starforge. I've never seen anything like it. I'm transmitting these coordinates to Admiral Dodana. Maybe a quick strike by the Republic can cripple the Sith fleet. Message is away. Now we can just wait for the Republic to show up. We should be safe here. We're outside their sensor range. Small vanguard of Sith fighters coming in hard. Someone needs to get on those gun turrets. Take those fighters out before they report our position to the main fleet.
God fucking damn it, another turret sequence. Why? No. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no. Game, please. Game, don't do this. Game, for the love of God, please don't do this at the 11th hour. I may just have to cut the stream a bit short. If I do, it will be purely so that the Starforge is the absolute final act.
Incoming fighters!
God, I'm shooting terribly. Okay. There it goes. We made it through the final turret sequence of the game. No more weird interruptions shooting me back to my desktop.
We've got problems. We've flooded some kind of disruptor field. All my instruments are jammed. We've got massive overloads in all systems. I'm picking up a single planet in this system. I'll try and put us down there. Hold on. This may be a rough landing.
Great.
Talk about your rough landings, Karth. What's the matter? You're flying like you've been on an all-night Teresian ale drinking binge.
That disruptor field fried our stabilizers. We're lucky we made it down in one piece. But if I can't find the salvage to make repairs, I won't even be able to get the Ebon Hawk airborne again.
During our rather rapid descent, I noticed the hulls of many crashed ships scattered across the landscape. Perhaps the parts you need can be found among the wreckage.
The Cathar's right. This planet's a technological graveyard. I saw dozens of downed ships out there. That disruptor field must have wiped them all out. But where could it be coming from?
Even if we get the stabilizers fixed, we have to find and disable the source of that disruptor field before we can take off. Otherwise, we'll just end up crashing again.
I'm not gonna lie, this last sequence before the Starforge kind of feels like game padding.
You're right. That Sith fleet we saw must have some type of protection against the disruptor field. We have to find a way to disable it, or the Republic will be slaughtered.
Oops. Some types of large stone structure to the east.
We haven't forgotten about her, but we can't do her much good stuck down here. We have to help ourselves before we can help her.
I only hope we're not too late. Bastila has been Malak's prisoner for a long time. If he can turn her to the dark side, she will join him, and the Sith will be invincible.
I fear Bastila will find the lure of the dark side difficult to resist. She is strong in the Force, but she's also impulsive, willful, and proud, as you once were, Revan. I'm glad to hear you say that. Now that you know your true identity, I was afraid you might slip back over to the dark side. If Bastila feels as you do, there may yet be hope for her.
Well, if Bastila's on the Starforge like you think, Johnny, then we can't rescue her until we disable that disruptor field. The sooner we investigate that temple to the east, the better. We can probably find the wreckage of a downed ship along the way. And if we're lucky, we can salvage some stabilizers from it to get off this planet.
I hope everything works out as smooth as you make it sound, Karth.
Well, so do I, Mission. So do I.
Oh boy. I don't know why, but I want to bring HK-47 with me. Yeah, we'll bring Mission as well.
Yeah?
Sneak attack 8. Armor. Alright. What the fuck? Who the deuce are you? Rakatan Warriors. Duros.
Jawana bota ayu at tahunga jakanki dora. Kachi kuita hodonga. Topa da bungualia gando donado chuchut. Mushapa ubabatu kochi. Tom non bon jong.
Damn.
La boda ni winki smack toma. Wana kumpes jingpa marulira. Tiska du suki kuba na bona na gachu. Tuinkotu. Topa da bungualia gando nado chuchut. Kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Inakun mama rulira rachikun jawana bota ayu at tahunga jakanki dora. Kachi kuita hodonga. Topa da bungualia gando donado chuchut. Mushapa pumpa. Jawana bota ayu at tahunga jakanki dora. Kachi kuita hodonga. Topa da bungualia gando donado chuchut. La boda ni winki smack toma. Wana kumbes jingpama kuyabi just kuna jitanai. Jawana bota ayu at tahunga jakanki dora. Yatuka ulwan kinkuna ba murira. Uba batu kochi. Tom non bon jang nung yang. Tom patok smack delia. Tiska du suki kuba na bona na gachu. Tuinkotu. Uba batu kochi. Tom non bon jang nung. La boda ni winki smack toma. Wana kumbes jingpa marulira. Tok jingbang non kek. Tok ninja.
Immediately hostile natives. Some random people that are stuck here and in need of rescue. The power of speed. Like, don't fuck with it, it'll kill you. So that leads to the North Beach. Yeah, I'm calling out tomorrow. I don't want to go to work. Oh look, I found a Giska. I found a Giska! Temple exterior. Alright, so let's head to the North Beach before we head to the temple exterior. There you are, mission! Getting yourself stuck behind things, I see?
Query. You are able to comprehend the speech patterns of these organics? You must have visited this planet and learned their language in your previous incarnation as Darth Revan.
You've used strange magics and weapons to slaughter our raiding parties, Interloper. You have bathed in the blood of fierce Rakatan warriors. Your power and skill in battle has impressed the One. He wishes an audience with you. A great honor. Come with us now, and we will take you to him. What's going on here? The One is the leader of our tribe, the great champion of the Rakata. He has feasted on the flesh of many foes. Come with us, and we will take you to him now. Fine. Take me to the One. If it's not Keanu Reeves, I'm going to be very disappointed. God damn it, it's not Keanu Reeves! This is already all wrong. Revan. Somehow I knew we would meet again. Even when you vanished, I knew you would not forget the vow you swore to me. And when my scouts told me of a great warrior from the sky slaughtering our raiding parties with mysterious powers and magics, I knew you had at last returned. I have no clue what you are talking about. Your words are confusing. I recognize you. You are the one called Revan. You are the one who came here with... You are the one who came before. The one called Malak. You promised to slay our enemy in exchange for our aid. You swore to destroy the Elders and bring us their secrets. Are you saying this means nothing to you now? My mind was destroyed. My memories were lost. I believe you, Revan. I sense there is something different about you. Something that has changed. You are not the same as you were before. Yet the power of magic, what you call the Force, is within you still. You can still destroy the Elders and fulfill your vow. What was this vow exactly? You vowed to kill the Elders and bring us the secret knowledge they protect. In exchange, we promised to use this lost knowledge to help you enter the Temple of the Ancients. When you vanished, we thought you had forgotten us, or had been killed by the Elders. Now that you have returned, our alliance still holds. Destroy the Elders, and we will help you. Very well. I will help you understand. And then you will destroy the Elders' tribe and fulfill the oath you swore to us long ago. You should probably start with the last time I was here. You arrived with Malak, your servant, 3 of your galactic standard years ago. My scouts saw your sky ship plummet to the Earth, and they went to loot the crash site. You used the power to rip the Rakata language from my mind, even as you drove basic into our skulls, so we could help you in your quest to find something called the Star Forge. Hey, Glory! Welcome to the party, my friend! Your soft lay within the Temple of the Ancients, and we could not help you enter the temple. The Elders alone hold its secrets, guarding them with their very lives. You say my ship crashed. Was it because of the disruptor field? I know nothing of this disruptor field, but throughout history of our tribe, many ships have fallen from the sky. It has always been this way, though in recent generations it has become more frequent. We have little understanding of such magic to make metal fly, but my scouts rush to take whatever we can carry from the crash sites in the hopes that we may one day unlock these secrets. This was how we acquired our Rancor war beasts. Several very young specimens were recovered from a crashed vessel. We raised them to adulthood, training and breeding them to be loyal beasts of war. No, I didn't commit any war crimes. Mostly what you missed was, well, I might have committed a couple of war crimes now that I think about it. I went back to the Sith base and discovered that they were stealing Selkath children and teenagers so they could train them in the ways of the dark side and turn them into loyalist indoctrinates. I may have had to kill a few of the young Selkath. Second, we solved a murder by covering up the truth, kind of, in order to preserve the public, but also because the Sith were being douchebags. I didn't think about it at first, but if those Selkath were under the age of what Selkath consider adulthood that I had to fight, yeah, technically that could have been a war crime. Sorry, I am now answering a question. And my phone is being oh so stupid. I have no idea what my phone thinks it's doing right now. Hi, Anakin! I seem to have been discovered. It's me, Anakin. I'm the one who's been controlling Revan all along. You all thought you had escaped the horrors of Hayden Christensen's worst look-alike impression. But you were wrong. So these guys are kind of like Vikings and such, in a way. So yeah, you might want to be a little careful with them. They're also very primitive and savage, and they eat the bodies of everybody that they kill. I forgot all about the Rakutans. Most of this guy's dying screams made no sense. Yeah, that may have had something to do with the fact you were torturing him to death, you idiot. There's more to life than savage violence and eating things. These guys are a little dumb and violent and stupid. Zabrak combat suit. Light scan visor. These guys have a lot of really good stuff. Hey, computer spikes. Those are actually going to be important. I could be the hugest asshole right now with that cage lever. Wookiee Warblade. To be fair, though, those Selkath tried to kill me first. I did not walk in the room and then ignite a lightsaber and go, DIE! Or turn on, you know, the Youngling Slayer 9000, as people call his blaster. Or his lightsaber. No, you know what? Sure, let me do something incredibly dumb. I want to see what happens when you do this. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. The game won't let you be that much of a dick. God damn it. Why can't I be a moron, game? The correct answer is, of course you can be a moron. Just the only question is how much of a moron. Do it. I tried, the game won't let me. Do it now. Good, Anakin, good. Kill him. Kill him now. I don't want to talk too much about what people consider the modern Star Wars controversy nowadays, but I should shed light on something, because there's something that I realized when I was watching a lot of information on Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and when I was watching Star Wars: The Acolyte, and even Star Wars: The Sequel Trilogy, and I realized very quickly what the problem was. The problem with those films and with the falls to death in Death Star. If you're wondering why I'm not talking to any of them, it's because the one thing I do remember about the Rakata, most of them don't have anything interesting to say at all. But the problem that Star Wars Acolyte has is that it's not actually Star Wars. And a lot of people will probably ask, well, what the fuck does that mean? Because a lot of people will say, well, this isn't Fire Emblem, or this isn't Star Wars, or this isn't Lord of the Rings. Most people who bring stuff like that up, they don't actually bother to mention what that means, or go into detail to explain why they feel the way they do about that. The reason why Acolyte is not Star Wars, and for me it's more factual than anything, is number one, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It feels like a shitty fanfiction. Nothing about the plot makes sense. The characters are all flipping-flopping on what their actual motivations are, and their intelligence levels seem to constantly fluctuate between mildly intelligent and, oh my god, how could you possibly be that stupid? The concept of the passage of time doesn't even exist in Acolyte. In the case of Rings of Power, the reason why that's not actually Lord of the Rings is because it violates virtually every fucking rule that exists for Lord of the Rings. It also violates the intended form of Lord of the Rings. My main proof of that, like, why is this not actually Lord of the Rings? First of all, the quote-unquote Tolkienisms that they try to use. Like saying, do you know why a stone sinks and a ship does not? This is a direct quote from the movie, by the way, that I'm making. I thought that was a Tarantotic for a second. I was about to go, oh shit. No, it's just baby Rancors. Is because a stone sees only downwards, while a ship sees up and can float because it is guided by the light of the sun. That is one of the dumbest fucking sayings I've ever heard in my life. And I'll repeat the quote uninterrupted. Do you know why a stone sinks while a ship does not? It's because a stone sees only downwards and the darkness within. But a ship sees up and can see the light of the sun and follow it to remain aloft. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, that's more or less a straight up direct quote from the film. what is that or from, not the film, but the TV show Rings of Power. What is that supposed to mean, that a stone sees only darkness and thus... A stone sinks because it's too heavy. Buoyancy. It doesn't have it. That's trying to sound profound without actually knowing what the hell sounding profound actually means. Or sounds like. And that's one of the reasons why the show fails. The other reason why, one of the other main reasons why it's not actually Lord of the Rings is what they do with Sauron. BBL? I don't know what that means, Glory. Oh, be back later. Never mind. That's what that means. Sauron was shown to be some sort of relative human entity, more or less, in terms of his appearance when he shows up in the first season. And he tries to seduce what's-her-face? Galadriel. I refuse to call her Galadriel because that's not Galadriel. And that's not Galadriel for several reasons that I'll get into in a minute. But he tries to seduce her to be his queen, basically, his wife, and have her guide him towards being better than he is, because apparently he's tired of being evil. Well, that's humanizing this character, right? Like, that you are humanizing this entity that is Sauron. Why is that wrong, you might wonder? Why does this make this not Tolkien's work? Well, if we actually go back and look in Tolkien's work, this entity that Sauron wasn't human in the slightest. Morgoth, the Fel Valar, is a fallen god. And Morgoth is who Sauron works for. And because Sauron works for Morgoth, that means that Sauron serves a corrupted Fel entity, right? Now, you might think that's all there is to it. It's actually not. There's so much more to it. He was created to be Morgoth's instrument on our plane. He was created to be the lord of all evil and corruption. He was a wicked spirit crafted by a wicked god. A spirit that could manipulate the souls of the dead. A spirit that could corrupt the foundations of the very land itself on which he stood. A spirit that could twist and defile the creatures of Middle-earth into evil, cruel, and murderous things, feeding them negative energy that twists them into things that they were never meant to be, with impulses they were never meant to have. He corrupts because he is corruption. He was born of corruption. And he is evil because his creator is evil and designed him to be evil. To try and humanize Sauron as something that feels love, craves the affection and care of another, and seeks solace and a escape from indecency, evil, cruelty, and hatred, to me, is to defy what Sauron fucking stood for. To defy Sauron's intended purpose. And his intended purpose was to actually be evil. We had to get rid of that captain. That captain would eat us alive. But, yeah, like, to try and humanize Sauron is to completely misunderstand it. And that's kind of what they've been doing with the Sith. Like, Disney's been trying to humanize the Sith as something that's morally gray. The Sith are inherently obsessed with the self, excessively violent, vicious, savage, and all about betrayal, aggression, violence, conquest, and murder. The Sith are not morally gray. They are obsession of the self. Obsession of one's own thirst for ambition and conquest at any expense, at any cost. They don't care what it takes. All they care about is that they get what they want. So that makes the Sith evil. To humanize them is to completely misunderstand them.
Sure.
That's why a lot of fans kind of roared in negative retaliation to Acolyte. Because Acolyte is not Star Wars. Acolyte is a corruption of Star Wars. You are twisting the lore of Star Wars, and you're not respecting it or adhering to it. Oh, hey. Somebody just exploded. There's a minefield around here. Oh, plasma vents. Oh boy.
Yeah?
Can you disarm those, dear? Yes, yes you can. She has a supreme amount of awareness too. But I bring all that up because it is important to understand what makes this franchise what it is. For Star Wars, it was always a battle of good versus evil. The Jedi in the light versus the Sith in the dark. Space wizards fighting space wizards, if you will. And that is why Acolyte isn't Star Wars. That's why Rings of Power isn't Lord of the Rings. That's why people have been rejecting these shows. It's because they're trying to inject aspects into them that they were literally never designed or intended to have. The orcs, for instance. Apparently orcs have families now in Rings of Power, and that violates everything the orcs were meant to stand for. The orcs were never supposed to be capable of having families, because what orcs in that universe actually are, they are elves that have been tortured for so long and tormented that they have been corrupted by their negative feelings and hatred that has blossomed during their time of being tortured, and they have turned into evil beings, full of negative emotions and completely obsessed with those emotions, and incapable of feeling anything else. This is why they are terrible, terrible creatures. This is why they are murderous creatures. This is why they are destructive creatures. They were designed by Tolkien to represent evil. Now, what makes this worse is that a lot of people who have absolutely no fucking idea what that even means, what these creatures were intended to mean, or how they were intended to mean it, will come in and start making a lot of very controversial comments, trying to bring race into it. You know, what are these things supposed to represent? Clearly they represent black people. Well, no, orcs don't represent any people because elves and orcs are not tied to humans in this universe. Orcs don't represent any ethnic group. They were never intended to do that. They were intended to represent mad, ravenous, vicious, unending, violent hunger and evil. That's what they represent. That's kind of why I've been bringing this up, is because it's not truly Star Wars. It defied the original intent of the creation that the creator had for it. So when a lot of people try to walk in and say, well, you can't dictate what this fictional universe was meant to have, my response is, guess what, motherfucker? According to the creator, yes I can, because the creator intended for this, by their own word of mouth, to be what was intended. And what you are doing breaks those rules and established designs. I'm not a bigot because I tell you that. I'm not a monster because I tell you that. I'm not a villain because I tell you that. I am just a fan telling you straight up, you don't understand what you're here. What you want to have here.
Kachicho ita hotonga, yin kin kuno ba bulira chikun. Slipta con jostak miki grabel mogo. Kachicho ita hotonga, tolpa de bongwalia gando de nago jojo. Tonghai wam chichi yuma linkta al inko tu. Tolpa da bongwalia gando de naga jojo. Kachicho tonga busha uneno. Wanga kun biske, bamule. Cavaton pa culpalier mokpada. Ta con jostak miki grabel mogo. Kachicho ita haudonga. Tolpa de bongwalia gando de na. Cavaton pa kutonga busha uneno. Wang Kipuna, tonga. Kachicho ita hotonga. Yin kin kuno ba bulira chikun. Slimo rondi hodonga kuhonga bi. Wala kun. Kachicho ita hotonga. Yin kin kuno ba bulira chikun. Slimo takon jostak miki grabel mogo. Kachicho ita hodonga. Tolpa de bongo. Tonga iwam chichi yuma linkta al inko tu. Tolpa da bongo alia gando de naga chocho. Ta con jostak miki grabel mogo. Kachicho ita hodonga. Rondi hodonga kuhonga bi. Wala kun.
Great! Now I gotta go rescue a prisoner. Damn, my persuasion abilities are better than I thought. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and master the power, or the flurry combo attack if I can. Alright, and then that's going to be for next time. I'm going to go ahead and save this here. I've been Savage Hound Dust. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. By the way, anybody looking to find the rest of my videos, please head over to YouTube, subscribe to Alpha Wolf. That's going to be where I put the rest of my streams for from now on. I'm going to be changing that name sooner or later. If you like what you see, give me a follow, maybe leave me a comment or two, and I'll see what I can do for you. Maybe to get some responses. I've been Savage Hound Dusk, and I'll see you next time.